ranks for one reason or another. And Leshrac seems like one we did not see a lot of the qualifiers. They're looking at as like 70th picked overall or something like that, is already a top 10 hero at this LCQ, and certainly expect to see plenty more of him, if not banned in the early stages. And well, so far, as I know we don't have the draft on screen yet, but Leshrac is still available at least, so we'll see.
Oh no,
if that comes out.
Not just that, they got the Primal Beast again. Oh,
yeah.
God. All right, we'll get into that in a sec. There's already kind of a rip feeling. There's definitely some changes this time around from Memphis Gaming, and that's what we want to see, right? Like that last draft felt like they kind of drafted themselves in a predictable corner. I think this time around, their approach needs to be more five-man fight focused. And I know there's this temptation. Infamous is a team that likes to fall into that 4-protect-1 format, but T1 has flipped the table. They have no interest in that traditional style of Doa. They want a five-man brawl.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And starting with a hero like Primal Beast, and as mentioned in the last draft, and now we've seen really in this event from T1, we talked about the tops in Primal Beast. Well, Zephyr played the last game. This is a hero that can flex quite a bit in terms of what makes sense in the draft when it's all said and done. Now, okay, now this is an interesting pick, right? Where Silencer, speaking of dead heroes prior to the TI, and the qualifiers really saw very little to none of Silencer. Did get some changes in the recent patch, the C patch, and some buff damage, I believe, on his curse. And this is an instance where he's also very viable because you think Silencer as a great counter to Enigma, and that's the matchup we have here now.
Hey, man, the big change is his armor, right? -1 armor to 0 armor. Hero is alive again. Oh, man.
That's pretty big, yeah.
I just love how, like, in Dota 2, there's kind of been this memeful history of, like, heroes just getting +1 armor, +1 armor, +1 armor. And eventually, it does get absurd. Like, we've seen in the past, a hero over a few patches gain 5 armor and just boom. But you're right. Like, some changes, tweaking his abilities. I think some changes were made originally to kind of cripple him, right? It was 7.32. I think his attack speed got decreased. His base attack time went down as well. Like, clearly, they were predicting this hero was going to be a nuisance. And in fairness, I don't think anyone wants to see Silencer be popular, right? Like, the most anti-fun hero in the game. Up there with how Doom used to play.
Is up there with one of the most annoying, absolutely, heroes to play against. I don't know if he's techies all necessary, but is certainly on that up on the list. But again, in a sense that there's not a lot of matchups that we're going to see Silencer, but Silencer against Enigma, I go back to that. That is the sole reason. Enigma is a hero that we are seeing a bit of, and so kind of naturally with those recent buffs to Silencer, he becomes a much more viable option. And hey, we are dealing with T1 after all, right? As far as a team they're willing to try some different things, and so maybe not the biggest surprise here, but.
Like, just look at his face right now. That's the face of a man who's seen too many Silencer games. He's like, not again, not this. Yep. At least he's going to try to be annoying on the other side, though, right? They whip out the tiny Tusk. They're hitting that tick, right? Like we want to see a lot more fighting, a lot more brawling. I like the fact they've got Enigma as well as this kind of like anti-team fight element to open up the draft. And it is going to force T1 to react to it. That's what the Silencer was really about, is just ruining the Enigma's existence.
Yeah, and also begs to wonder, is this going to be a support Silencer, or is there potential for the core? Again, and we're dealing with T1 after all. I mean, they ran that mid Enchantress in the previous series, so dare I say a Thompson Silencer is absolutely possible, but we'll have to figure out the whole draft before we get to that point. Now, Monkey King coming out for T1, maybe a little more confident that could be Ana's hero, but they're going to go with the, I expect to be, I don't even know why I'm saying that. Hell, support Monkey King certainly is possible too, so, but their 4th pick to come now.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm curious to see if this will get flexed in any way. Like, I'm kind of expecting this just maybe Anna's hero, but that there are, of course, like the possibility to get a Tops and Monkey King. There is the possibility of support Monkey King. I think it's still kind of okay. It just doesn't really have the biggest reason to like exist in this game right now. I think Tusk is actually a decent solution very early on the lane to Monkey King. The lane eventually shifts the other way, but the cool thing about Tusk is once you've done your job of oppressing MK for the first 2 to 3 levels, you just walk elsewhere and gank.
Love this Rubik pick as well. Like the Shadow Fiend pickup too. Again, we've been seeing this safe lane Shadow Fiend even making an appearance. And you talk about some great team fight combo, the Wombo combo with the Shadow Fiend and the Enigma, pretty good. Tiny can also set up there too. But there continues to be the issue of the silencer for that, of course. But
5
going back to the
seconds
Rubik
remaining.
pick prior to that, another tool to deal with this Enigma. So this is the dangerous thing with picking up Enigma earlier on in the draft, is you do get those counters that start to pop up as a result of it. So it's going to be a difficult game for Frank or whoever ends up playing the Enigma, certainly. But yeah, the Shadow Fiend happening on the side of Infamous. That's going to be fun to see from them. Right click hero, that certainly has potential to do a lot of damage this game.
So this shifts the roles a little bit. The Flexi has gone down now. Primal Beast maybe doesn't necessarily want to go mid against the SF. You definitely don't want a Monkey King there. Like, Shadow Fiend loves melee heroes. Like, oh, what's that? Triple raise, very predictable. I'll take it every day of the week. So I think we might be seeing a Sansa mid here, unless they want to make it a final pick. But then I think the draft becomes a little bit discombobulated, right? I think there's still maybe some boxes that need to be ticked here. Namely, I think they could still benefit from an offlaner that gives them some push power, because right now they don't exactly delete buildings.
10 seconds remaining.
That's true. That's absolutely something that T1 could use. Agree there for
5
sure. You see the
seconds
bristleback ban coming out from Infamous and trying to decide on who that final one would be. You see Anna's doing a little bit of smile and I don't know what to talk about. He's like, am I going to be playing the silencer? All right, I guess. It's going to be a carry Rubik. Who the hell knows?
You never know, man.
Interesting theory though on the mid silencer. That's that actually, I suppose I could certainly see that, and get in that off lane now on the side of T1 that perhaps brings that push. But what is Beastmaster still there? I guess Beastmaster is still there as a possibility. But Infamous is banning more of the safe lane options.
Okay,
but they didn't ban the Pudge.
Yeah, we're just back to this low cooldown. Goes through BKB stuns. Primal Beast at one end and Pudge at the other. I mean, it was a very effective tool last game and could have the similar effect. It's also actually a really annoying pick up against the Enigma, right? Because now if you Black Hole, you can just be ruined if the Pudge isn't in there.
5 seconds remaining.
Wow, so now we look across at Infamous to round this out. They have really good physical output. They have some good denial in fights, but the Enigma's already counted out by the silencer. I wouldn't mind a kind of second team fight element, or just something that kind of buffs you up, like someone that gives you a collective push in these fights. You mentioned something like a Beastmaster before. Unlikely with the Enigma already being there, but maybe they now choose to relegate it.
To that point,
Select your heroes.
I wonder if they just put Enigma as a hard support here. Okay, well they're not going to.
Yeah,
because I mean, that was another tool with the Pudge as you were taking. This is going to be a stupid, insanely tough Enigma game, but they are still going to commit to Frank playing it. All right, so, but Leo Style going to be the Shadow Fiend, so we'll be our mid Shadow Fiend, and Sven, of course, in the hands of Parker to finish it off. But the Sven core. To finish it off over here on the side of Infamous. It is a support silencer. Wow. Tops in Monkey King up against that Shadow.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice to actually run the mid Monkey King when you're up against SF. In theory, if you can stick on top of him and you get a rotation, kills can happen. I think the thing that Thompson's looking towards here is there is a negative to this matchup. If you ever walk away, you probably die. The positive, though, is if you keep walking towards the SF, he has to walk away or die, right? Because you just get the Jingus out and you obliterate him. So maybe it does actually work out as a good pick. I think the key detail is going to be who gets level 3 quickly here in the mid lane. If one player gets a clear edge, level 2 Shadow Rays versus level 2 Jingu, either one of them can begin to dumpster the other.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a fun matchup to watch in that middle because Leo Style, let's just say he has history playing Shadow Fiend, so always a treat that we get to see right there with him on the SF in that mid lane. Again, I talked about the possible safe lane Shadow Fiend. We have been seeing glimpses of that recently, but no, you got Leo Style, mid lane Shadow Fiend, absolutely a treat. So yeah, the mid matchup though against the Monkey King, going to be fun to watch. That Sven pick, I'm sitting here trying to think of the Sven and how I like the Sven overall. I mean, it seems like a give and take because it goes back to you're dealing with, for example, a Pudge on the other side who killing him may prove to be difficult, but you do have the Shadow Fiend aura at the same time, right? Where minusing that armor, benefiting the Sven as well. And so maybe that's almost the game plan that they're relying on. They're also relying on this big wombo combo, but that goes back to the silencer on the other side. So it's going to, initiation as usual when you have an Enigma in the game is going to be key from either side here.
Whoops. Smoke just got broke. Monkey King, what are you doing here? Mistakes have been made. And he hooks the wrong one. Thompson gets left in. They'll at least look for the trade out. But first blood will go the way of Infamous. That was not the plan from T1.
No, and certainly the better trade for Infamous. You mentioned the hook. I mean, I guess whether or not he was going for the safe hook or he's just hoping to get a hero. Obviously, he got a hero, but yeah, and the fact that they got the first blood first on the side of Infamous, taking out the better target of Monkey King, that's a hell of a start. You know, it's not going to necessarily decide the game when it's all said and done, but Leo Style will certainly accept the fact that he's going to have a very quick bottle in this mid matchup. So what was already setting up to be a pretty good matchup for him, maybe even just got a bit better because of that kill. So Bounty Ring, so I'm going to say hi, but no matter who gets it. Good job by Tiny.
Yeah, already hits him a minor XP lead, right? Not a substantial one, but it could make that edge of him hitting free first that I talked about earlier. Now, you mentioned that Sven in this draft, and I think Sven is definitely better than the draft last game, right? This is a hero that's going to be active quicker than a Medusa. But what I'm scared of is how much of your draft gets counted by Sans and how bad it's going to be if you get hooked like this. Luckily for him, Thompson was not in position to exploit that. But Leo Style having a small heart attack there.
That's a position 1 punch, by the way. Supporting the Monkey. That's the last thing you expected for Shadow Fiend, and it almost worked out for a potential kill, but he was able to kind of squeak on out of there and survive. So you love to see it, though. Ana and Thompson playing together from the beginning. Not able to connect, though, as far as the kill, though, goes.
No, what he was trying to do is hook him on the high ground, and then Thompson shifts to the right side after stunning, and they body block him between the two. Didn't work out in the end. Leo Style very quickly maneuvered to the right side and got out of what would have been a very uncomfortable start to this lane.
In the end, Leo Style is fine, and again, he's working with that early bottle that's already being delivered out. But we got our bottom matchup, though, of the Enigma down here as the core going up against Pudge. So again, in the laning phase, maybe going to be a pretty good Enigma game. It's just throughout the game, specific to that black hole presence, that is something to keep in mind. Yes, the black hole is, of course, a big factor. That's why Enigma is very powerful. But it's not necessarily the whole hero. He still is able to provide plenty. And this is one of the things of early farm, right? He's going to get these aura items most likely. We do see the Urn in fact queued up, which a Spirit Vessel this game actually would be a very good pickup if he wants to go that direction. Oh, yeah. But he's going to get the farm.
Yeah, I think you highlighted why didn't they shift him to the support role a little bit earlier when we were talking about the draft, and this is why. Like, you know, if you play Enigma support, you are just a black hole. You're gonna get a little bit of farm, but nowhere near as much as a POS-free Enigma. So would you rather have a hero that diversifies away from what's now countered, or would you just have this kind of one-trick pony that Whitemon could essentially just sit in Fountain for the rest of the game and counter? I like this approach. I think it's just playing to an advantage instead of looking at your pick and then making it even weaker than it is.
Ooh, see, they're going to pick out Silencer. They're going to go for this kill. Silencer, Whitemon, he's in trouble. Likely dead. Is going to do as much damage in return to the Enigma and going to allow for the turn from Ana to come out. So kind of just standing his ground, accepting death. And proved to be the correct calls. On a hook, it's not going to be a kill on Michael. Oh,
he's believing a little bit too much here. He's got to show some respect, though, but Michael does have the setup. Ana definitely living on the edge here, though. Has already got the Soul Ring, so there's plenty of hooks still to come in this lane. And the beautiful thing is in another level or two, you get some points in Flesh Heap, and you can easily just sustain throughout spamming hooks consistently.
So we are seeing the Silencer impact of that curse as well as the last word coming out to help set up that kill that happened on Enigma, at least initially. Top lane. We got the Primal Beast in the hands of Cuckoo, so yet another role we're seeing this hero in. Not a big surprise once again. Quite the flex pick. Bracer with the brown boots on him.
So they've played it POS 2, POS 4, POS 3 so far. Wouldn't be surprised to see POS 5. I would have a heart attack if we saw POS 1.
Don't count it out. Definitely don't count it out.
I'm not. It's still possible. Hook bot lane though. Ana, ambitious. And well, it doesn't work out the best of ways for him in the end, as actually Ana goes down first. Frank does get the kill.
Yeah, so we're no surprise having a bit of a trading war back or down at that bottom lane more so between these two teams, specifically the 2 versus 2 down there, as You got Tusk gonna do the creep pull after the fact and make use of some farm while his teammate is missing. Ana will port back in though. And continue his farm as he's got the soul ring and of course already has the axe queued up himself. Sven at the top lane. How is he doing? He's doing not too good. He's 15-0 against a 17-6 Primal B, so it's a little bit of a tough lane for Parker.
Yeah, and meanwhile in the mid, things aren't too bad for Thompson. Like, he approached this lane the right way. He went for the Uv. He has 2 points in Jingu. Leo can't really get that pressure you usually see against a melee laner. It's just the way this lane works is, in theory, it should be SF favored. But if you get close, there's nothing you can do. Bot lane, though. Roll through.
Silencer goes down first. Pudge as well. And that was just another case of a clash coming out, but they killed the Silencer quickly enough that he wasn't able to do enough return damage, and Ana almost had to just go for the kills himself at that point. Ain't gonna happen. So that's a 2 for nothing, favoring Infamous. Just the clashes at the bottom lane are not gonna stop.
So I've got a theory here. We mentioned that the Enigma is kind of countered. So what you do is you fatten him up so that when he gets all fat and it's like, oh, I'm an Enigma, I'm going to win the game, silenced. Doesn't work. So this is clearly, definitely not copium for SEA fans. This is definitely T1 thinking 50 minutes down the line. They want Frank to be way too confident in his game and lose it for Infamous.
Well, Enigma, we talked about his farm should potentially still be pretty good, and well, he is top farm in the game right now. He could be ice shards. It's right there. Great hook from Ana. He is hitting those hooks like a boss right now. Last word is up, but does snowball.
Yeah, did you want to hit that hook?
Time being, back to the creep, and Curse comes out though, but he's gonna be fine.
Man, the Enigma is actually really threatening the stage. 28 damage per Eidolon. You can't easily make these plays when it's full stack Eidolon out. Like, when he's actually waiting, he's on him free, that's probably your best time to go. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, they are going Thompson. Toss back, but once again, just walks it off. Somewhat unfazed, despite his very early death in this game.
Yeah, even throwing out the tip right there. So, again, we haven't seen a lot of that going on. Just we're very early on in this TI. So, as it continues to pick up, something tells me that'll pick up as well. But Thompson giving a little bit of a tip to the Shadow Fiend and Leo Style. It is going to be a Spirit Vessel option, by the way, for Enigma. Talked about that potential. As top lane, again, you see Sven is absorbing farm at his tower, but he might be in trouble. Zephyr tossing in to the trample, but good stun immediately. Has support coming in, and that's Leo Style. And immediately, T1's like, we got to get out of here. The chase is on.
Yeah, but where's your stun? You need a stun right now. Avalanche is going to be there, so they'll at least clean up Zephyr. He's going to waste a lot of their time in the process. Key detail there is they were the ones that dove, and they still get out with Cuckoo and force a rotation out of multiple heroes. So good kill nonetheless, but overall not too bad for T1.
Yeah, that is absolutely a case of full teams on bottom lane. This is bad. Ana gonna tuck in and hope for the turn at least on a Michael, and they'll get it, but dare I say at what cost?
Okay, I'll give you the cost. I'm that Sansa right now. I'm in my pub game. I say, it's okay. I made them stupider. Am I huffing copium, or is that reasonable?
Well, no, it's not reasonable at all.
No.
But it is a fact, at least.
Yeah, you know, maybe if it had been that mid Sansa, this would be a detail that matters. But yeah, it is frustrating for the Tusk because you're just being stripped of your int, right, at a very early point. It doesn't feel good on a hero that doesn't exactly have the biggest mana pool, but definitely has a big need for it. But yeah, just offset it. Get yourself some mangoes down the line if you need to. Yeah. To be honest, he doesn't really need to spam that much. It feels like every time he's using abilities on this Tusk, it's leading to a kill. Mid lane, speaking of kills.
Wheel style, Requiem. He's going to be lifted up, though. Tossed in. Now the Requiem going up. No, the last word comes out, so he can't get the damn cast up, but we got a black hole. And that ain't being stopped for the time being. 1 down, 2 down. Silencer and Monkey King both will fall. So the Requiem being stopped over and over again.
Over top.
Well,
Cuckoo makes the best of a bad situation. He's like, well, we're outnumbered on the mid lane. It looks like you left the Sven alone farming top. So still a good fight coming out from Infamous, but keep in mind it did cost him the black hole as well. And of course, there was no counter play for the Sansa. He wasn't level 6 yet. Maybe they can actually try and aggro onto him now. The problem that you have is Ana is still lagging behind here. Enigma hit 6, but just still sitting on 5.
By the way, it is worth pointing out that Silencer, I know you talk about the insta-steal, he actually doesn't have the Glaive of Wisdom yet, though, which would allow for that to even take place. So, and again, being a support, it's understandable. But as the game picks up, that of course, is going to become more of a factor. He's going to be involved here as the hook in onto Enigma. There is TP support. Enigma getting low, the auto attacks, and the tower assisting for that kill. However, Ana goes down, though. Affliction with the toss to finish the job there. Michael, he's dead. Downward strike will take him out. So a 2 for 1, but that's another kill on Ana.
Man, Leo Style is learning how annoying Prone Beast is. While that was happening, Leo Style had to watch his tier 1 top go down because he was trying to make a play with Invis. Didn't work out at the end. I mean, this is the annoyance of Primal Beast. Just look at him. He's got his Ogre Axle, he's got his Bracer. He's at 1500 HP. Even if you hit an almost perfect Requiem, it doesn't feel like it's going to be quite enough.
Now, something that's always interesting to look at for these Shadow Fiends is he has really 2 style of plays, right? He has the right click, just damage dealer style. He has the magic build style, the raises, the Requiem. And knowing that they have a Sven position 1, we haven't seen a lot of these physical builds on Shadow Fiends lately, especially in position 1. But again, he's mid this time. He has Sven as that physical damage presence. He is going to Yule. So I would lead me to believe that we are going to be seeing more of that. There, it's a Wombo combo, the Requiem initiation, the raise build, and thus the talents will reflect that as well. We'll find out at level 10 what he's ultimately going to be doing, but I assume it's going to be that magic focus.
It definitely looks like the magic focus, and there's a justifiable reason for this. The right-click build does feel really good for scalability. The problem that you have right now is who's covering your mid-game, right? You know your Enigma has done well so far, but ultimately he should be counted out. So you need someone else to kind of pick up the slack, which is why the magic build is better. It comes online quicker. Now, in an ideal world, I would say, you know, if you didn't have a counted offlaner, you go right-click. Because if you look at the lineup you're against, it's going to be very difficult to keep getting these Requiem bombs off when you're up against both a Pudge and a Primal Beast.
Yeah. Top lane Ana is actually trying to farm up here now. That's already 4 deaths on this Pudge. So it's not been the friendliest of games for him. We talked about last game how he really had a great start. He got the early Ags, as you expect to see in your position 1 Pudge. This game, a bit different. They are trying to free up some farm for Monkey King to absorb here at the bottom. But all 3 cores, looking at the net worth, are doing all right on the side of T1. In fact, funny enough, both offlaners on either side are actually top farm right now in the game. The battle of the Enigma versus the Primal Beast, who is going to BKB, by the way, on Cuckoo. Worth pointing out there too. But yeah, this Enigma, we talked about it. He's going to get the farm, and boy, is he farming.
Yeah, but the tough part is, like, I look at these 2 offlaners, and I think of which one's going to have a more consistent impact. And you have to lean on the side of the Primal Beast. I mean, it's the cooldown comparison again, just like last game. 32 seconds right now compared to Black Hole that's 200 seconds.
With the counters.
So just to put that in perspective, you could have pulverized every member of the enemy team before Black Hole comes off cooldown.
Yeah, that's actually very fair to say. And again, he's dealing with the global silence. He's dealing with Rubik's presence. He's dealing with the possibility of Pudge. So, as we've stressed from the beginning, this is not a game where Enigma's going to be looking to get off these amazing black holes. It's going to be a game where he's taking this early farm to build into, as we see the Vlads here, he already had the Spirit Vessel I keep going back to, and he's going to be some good push presence as well.
Yeah, it's insurance policy gameplay, right? Like, I don't want to use Black Hole, but you need to respect that I could use it. And I think that's the best way to play it. Unless you get a key objective like Roshan or a tier 3 or a team wipe, you know, the Black Hole shouldn't be utilized. It should just remain as a threat. The bot, Tiny, ambitious with his placement. I don't think they expected T1 to defend down here. Typically, you just let this tower go. But of course, because the Primal Beast took that top tower so early, they can confidently defend this area and prevent Infamous from getting anything.
We haven't done much mention of Sven this game, but he does have his Mask of Madness, by the way. He might be in trouble. Look at the smoke play from T1 into the Ancients. They're picking him out. They know he's here. Do they have the jump? They're going in. Thompson found the strike. The onslaught. TP support coming in, though, but the global silence used as well, slamming him into the ground. Down goes Sven. He's out for 30, and now this response. It's here. Is it enough, though? Whitemon feeling the pain. Thanks for the tuss, so he eventually goes down the Black Hole. Locked out with the Requiem, and Monkey King is going to fall as a result, so they lose their Sven, but there's a funny, but there's a steal from Zephyr. His own Black Hole. It's going to be counted, though. The yields up immediately. He's in the air, coming back down, putting the nuke out, but it's just too much damage to handle. And down falls a Rubik. So a 3-for-1 Infamous pleased with that outcome.
And right now, everyone's like, where's Pudge? What? Anna? No, he's just been pushing top. He was nowhere nearby. And before anyone tries to call out, like, they made that dive pretty quick. He couldn't have TP down quick enough to be part of the smoke. I think the logic for them is quick kill around the Ancients and then just get out. But if you bring Anna as well, you delay the timing by 6, 7, maybe 8 seconds. And also, you've got no heroes showing on the map. So that's the logic behind why only 4 were fighting there. They did not expect that to transpire into a full team fight.
Oh no, Zephyr thinking he's TPing in to help push this out. Well, might still have a chance right here with his teammates, but Michael is going to have to TP in. Yes, they are going to get the turn kill. So
they
worried
more?
for Zephyr for a second, but they might get more.
One tap away. They're going to be able to find the Tiny at least. Courtesy of the setup from Cuckoo. And now this T1's going to be going down. And I want to remind you that so far, Infamous, although they're somewhat fighting back and forth, they've yet to take any towers yet. So they're very limited on where they can go on the map.
They are. They do have Sven, though, who I believe has finished his Echo Saber, if I'm not mistaken. Or actually, he's just about there. So he's almost there to go with that Mask of Madness. Obviously, pretty good. Going to be coming out for him and his farm enhancement. Does max out the Great Cleave first. I'll take down those jungle creeps and kind of just sitting in the jungle right now. As there you go, the Echo Saber officially delivered to him. But speaking of tower push, I mean, there's only the one tower kill on the side of T1, so there hasn't been a lot of overall push presence here in this game.
Oh, they got Thompson
fighting. If there's a tree's destroyed, though, Monkey King's in trouble.
He's gone. Yep, trees get cut down. Frank sensed there's something wrong here. Nice pick. And, you know, something to kind of consider, actually, is that Infamous haven't really changed the way they're playing the game compared to Game 1. They still just want Parker to farm and nothing else. The difference, though, is if he does get attacked, he can be involved. When you compare that to Medusa, like, you know, no stuns, nothing to easily lock down or burst people. Sven makes a lot more sense for the way that T1 is playing in the series compared to that Medusa earlier.
And kind of looking back at that kill, too. Yeah, the Midnight Pulse, talk about an awesome tool to have to destroy those trees. And if you know Monkey King is in the area, then as we saw right there, you pop down the Midnight Pulse, the trees go away, and MK is suddenly stunned for a duration. So that's yet another tool as to why this Enigma pick, as countered as he is with the Black Hole presence, overall he's still able to provide plenty. So Ana has certainly stepped it up with farm. He is actually top farmer in the game right now, and the Ags is being delivered. So you got this item now for T1 that feels like one of those, okay, now what do we do? Yes, he can continue to farm, get even bigger, sure, get that blink maybe is certainly important, but they just also finished a BKB on Primal Beast. I would like to see T1 and go for some sort of smoke play, if anything, at this point, because you're dealing with this Sven on the other side who is just almost comfortably farming away. He had that death earlier, but for a duration now, he's just been doing his thing. We are seeing the smoke, though.
Yep, smoke they will. They're moving in to the dire jungle here. Affliction will break that smoke, and easy to sidestep a hook that's completely wrong location. However, won't get him out. So at least find a kill with the smoke. But the key thing to keep in mind here is the window of opportunity is still open for a long time. Infamous aren't building BKBs anytime soon, so you can just keep extracting kills across the map, both this Pudge and this Primal Beast, and that's what we're looking to do right now. Leo Style stuck in the river and in trouble, but maybe Breaky, maybe he'll still be able to get away courtesy of Michael.
Michael, he's the one in trouble now, though, so yep, saving his teammate, but Tusk, don't think he's getting away from this one. Just going to make it take as long as possible, and eventually the damage is done. So Monkey King immediately goes into the Dire Ancients for somebody else, but Shadow Fiend, he's already well away, and Enigma's porting in next to him, but they're not done chasing apparently. They're going in. Shadow Fiend going to be jumped the hook to secure the kill. When it's all said and done, Thompson, though, that Spirit Vessel's up on him, going to take the Storm Hammer to the face, the Black Hole on Cuckoo, but there's the Global Silence. We see to immediately counter it.
In trouble. Dismember's going to come out. Slows as well, so they can't easily retreat. Pulverize will keep them on the spot as well. Now, luckily for them, Ana is not willing to throw out the hook just yet, courtesy of Parker being in the neighborhood. But Parker's here. He's not farming, so he needs to find some kills. In on Ana. Slows are going to come out to keep them away, and maybe he can make his escape, but too low on the HP. Spirit Vessel ensures he can get out, and Infamous in the end turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually pretty clutch. The fact that they were able to get that turn kill and deny the tower. On top of that, and I mean, when it's all said and done, as far as the fight recap goes, Infamous slight gold advantage in their favor by about 200 or so. So yeah, if I'm Infamous, I'm actually feeling pretty good, honestly, right now. Your black hole got countered, as you know it was going to, in this game immediately by the global silence, yet you still won the fight when it was also, and your Shadow Peak got picked off from the beginning, by the way, too. That's the other key of what happened there. So the fact that they were still able to win that, very clutch. And Parker, he's got his blink now, and now the BKB is going to be coming up, and that feels like the absolute item, if I'm Infamous, that will really set things in motion, right? Where a BKB on the Sven, who also has some nice damage assistant items, now they're going to start pushing as a team when he has it, at least, and it's going to feel difficult to stop. But he doesn't have it yet, and they're trying to find it.
Sven in trouble. Lift's going to come out. Stun returned to its owner. Pulverize locks him in, and Parker is going to be going down. And I mean, this is what I was fearful of, Breaky. You know, we talked about that Black Hole, how great it was, great turnaround for Infamous. Now it's on cooldown. T1 are about to get incredibly aggressive because they still have a 100-second window where Frank doesn't really contribute anything to a team fight.
Yeah, very true. And that's, of course, to credit of T1, is very aware of that situation. So they have that more freedom now to roam about, and the timing too. They're understanding that Sven is likely a hero that's going to be looking to take out his Ancients that they've already seen multiple times this game, and they happen to time correctly at that point. So Caster's Curse perhaps a little bit kicking in there. Sven, that BKB delayed that much more, and Ana will make sure to take out this current stack of Ancients before Sven's going to be able to come back in. They also get the bottom tower push, does T1. So another good thing happening there for them, but
don't think of it as a caster curse, right? You just, you know, you envy Sven. We all do. I mean, I wish I had muscles like that. I'm not fond of the head, actually. I'll say that. If my head was shaped like that, I mean, I wouldn't be able to wear any of my headsets.
Well, that's just a helmet, is it? This is actually
is it, though? Like, because all of his helmets are kind of that shape, right?
That's true. Got that funky thing going on, maybe. Yeah, I guess we've never seen him unmasked, so.
Actually, maybe I'm wrong. I think there's that one helmet. It's the Spartan one. But still, we've never seen his face. So you know, it seems like he's a... We shouldn't talk about it, Breaky. I think maybe Sven's a bit insecure about his head.
If that's all it takes to get us buff and big as he is, I mean, you know, sign me up.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Misshaped head and all. Oh, there's those Ancients, so immediately goes over. 3-player smoke from the side of Infamous. They're hunting in the jungle themselves, not going to create that room, but gets scouted out. The curse happens. The toss back on a Thompson. Wukong, no, he's going to be knocked up in the air. Stop for now. The BKB is going to wear it out with the hook. Pulls back Frank and goes for the ultimate, but immediately silenced once again. And with the Wukongs, maybe overkill, but they got him. Did he steal it?
Zephyr's got the Black Hole as well, so now they had to play really defensive. Not only do they not have Black Hole themselves, but now they have to worry about T1 getting incredibly aggressive.
You can tell Infamous knows as well. There's complete retreat mode here. Not want to give them a shot, but yeah, that's true. That is a long duration that they have this Black Hole now to use it. You see what T1's going to do. They're going to immediately smoke and go hunting with it. We'll see who they find. Parker could be possible if he gets greedy here. No, they see Tusk.
Yeah, that's not the kill they want. They're going to hold on to it. Probably trying to threaten some objectives. They did just ping Parker. The gluttony of a POS 1. Just let me hit a creep. Maybe 1 or 2 creeps. Sure. But we get to hit you as well. Michael.
Oh, Tusk.
Going in. Whether he likes or lumps it. Just going to turn around on him, though. Cold Strength comes out. Parker willing to fight. Blinks in straight away with the Storm Black Hole used against them. Pulverize as well. They can't even back off. It's going to turn against them here. Both going down. Cuckoo not done yet, though. Looks for an extra on the side. SF dead and Infamous in shambles.
That is the worst feeling ever if you're Enigma. It really is. Knowing that you not only died, but you gave up your Black Hole to the Rubik, and it's what sets up the next massive fight for T1. So that's got to sting if you're Frank especially, but of course credit to Zephyr and the team of T1 for executing as they did. Yeah, the jump from Sven, whenever you hear that Godswing pop like that and the war cry, you're like, all right, here we go. Immediately stopped in his tracks by a Black Hole and just got locked down to death. So a couple of bad feelings there for Infamous. And you talk about gold swings, that was a massive one. It's now a lead for T1. There's about a 3,000 swing in that fight alone. And they are going to, you know, you got a Pudge now who's working on his own BKB, but I think Monkey King, the key, he has his own BKB. However, corrosion's going to be coming out even, but you can tell T1's going to start to feel it now. But the black hole of Enigma, 49 seconds. That's the key, but we've seen now the last couple, right? Silencer, he's just holding for it, and he'll just pop his silence immediately. He presses R. It's not hard. He just has to press R.
Like, this is actually the power of Rubik and Silencer as a combo against the Enigma. Enigma in this game as well didn't rush BKB. He's not even going for it now. He's going to blink first, right? The problem here is what happens, Global comes out, you can't cast another spell, so you're stuck holding a black hole. It's the freest steal a Rubik can ever ask for. Like, Zephyr, I mean, it's not to discredit him, but this is possibly the easiest game to steal black holes in you're probably ever going to get.
On top of that is, by the way, Affliction is nice stun, and
No way.
that was like 0.1 second. Doesn't get away. Meanwhile, Sven, he's probably fine. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Kind of going off of that a little bit further though, there is an argument to be made. Enigma should not black hole. Like because you're potentially giving it up as what is happening here?
Yeah, that was kind of messy. Like, Rubik, I mean, SF feels confident, and then a Rubik comes out the invis room to right-click you. That's when you know a rotation's coming in and you're not hanging around. But yeah, you're right. It's one of those cases, like I said, where it has to be an insurance policy. But the problem right now is Infamous being forced to commit the black hole to even stand a chance of taking fights. At least this will be a freebie. And you don't have to press that button and risk a Rubik being in the neighborhood.
Unless you have Silencer in your sights, and unless Frank is confident he can get that jump, I don't think he risks using the black hole, honestly, in these future fights. But, of course, a big kill, by the way, on Ana, as they happen to get him at the top tier 2 tower behind it. And he's dead for 40 seconds, so now Infamous has a slight window to try to make something happen. Roshan is still the first Roshan, by the way. I say that because I'm a little surprised. This is Infamous especially has a great Roshan killing team. They just haven't, and you can see right now, they're warding around the area. They're going to be pushing the top tower. So you could tell Infamous is going to start to try to position to maybe go for that Roshan in the near future.
I think the issue is that they're constantly being forced to use God Strength in fights, so they don't have it to go Roche. Otherwise, it's too slow. In an ideal world, T1 chills, and they let you just farm for a minute or two, and you can go for a God Strength Roche play and then follow up. But you can see T1 don't play that way. These guys have no chill. They are incredibly aggressive. They're keeping that up here in game number 2. Stuns come out. The initiation looking like it's going to backfire for Infamous as Affliction in a bit too deep. And the counterattack on the side, but the black hole there to counter it out. T1 turn about. The Silencer and open up was good enough to secure them around the pit.
Yeah, Silencer did not have a buy. That's the first thing I looked for. Did he have a buyback? He did not. The second he died, that was the absolute opening that Infamous needed. And it goes back to, if they have the jump on Silencer specifically, then you definitely go if you're Infamous. And that's exactly what happened right there. They lost 2 in the end themselves, but clearly a win of a fight for Infamous. It's not going to transition into that Roshan, at least yet. Well, as I say this, Parker just jumps in with that Mask of Madness, and they don't have the Shadow Fiend here. He's busy pushing out the bottom lane, being a presence down there at least, but this is going to be a free Roshan because of it.
Yeah, this is a nice thing of having to hear like Enigma or Beast Master on your team, right? You just have the boost to travel, you can come in on the creeps and instantly be at the next objective. So they do secure a big one here. He wanted the Aegis badly, and it finally happens immediately after we talk about it.
There you go. And this is that point, because he also just got the BKB recently, now with an Aegis. Yeah, Infamous, they are starting to take control of this game, because big items to have, not only, what was that?
I mean, I was just watching you say they're taking control of the game, and Cuckoo's shaking his head as he just keeps going as deep as possible. This hero is just so obnoxious. It feels incredibly difficult to punish a Primal Beast. Like, where would you define as out of position? Does it exist?
No, it doesn't. He can be anywhere, it feels like, and he's going to be able to have some kind of presence in these fights. But that right there, by the way, we did see the BKB use of Sven, so much for that first use. Did help keep him alive. But yeah, speaking of the Primal Beast, he's continuing to just go, stomping the ground, being angry about everything, but not going to get a catch
goddamn
there. However,
taxes. Welfare. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to imagine the things that make Primal Beast so mad. Anything you want to add to the list? What do you think he's mad about?
Not sure. I'll think on that one.
Okay, it's going to be a European thing, but the offside rule in football, so stupid. You know what you can do? As American, you can be like, why do British people drive on the left side of the road? There you go. All right.
Why do they? Let's talk about that for a while, actually.
I don't think we get much time to see. The lift comes out from Zephyr. Beautifully done.
Yeah, he's dead. That's a dead tiny. 4-player smoke, though, for Infamous. As kind of off of that, there is a double damage rune as well. I don't know if either team actually sees that there.
Not yet.
But Infamous might find that soon.
Oh!
Yeah, they are.
Oh, so you give it to the hero that is a double damage. Wow.
You like it?
God. I'm pretty sure anyone dies to this Sven if he stuns them now, actually. They need to get out. Anna's waiting around. They catch two. Parker goes in. Straight away takes out the Sansa. Anna will try to run away. Gets the blink off, but Leo style catches him with the Yules. A Boogaloo to party. And celebrate an easy 2-tapper there.
Yeah, and as again, Sansa does have the buyback now, but it's certainly not worth trying to even remotely save the Pudge at that point. But yeah, that's exactly the hope that Infamous was going for. He just shredded them. I mean, even the Pudge dropped quickly when he got on top of him eventually. So yeah, Sven is why would they stop pushing after this? They got 2 minutes plus remaining on the Aegis. Gonna push out the mid lane. They see what's happening top though. Guess what? It's a primal beast pushed up here and actually in trouble. The Black Hole solo locked into. They have a Requiem. They do. BKB is gonna be wearing off soon. Midnight Pulse coming out. Is Requiem even needed? He's not gonna go for it. He's got raises and team support. So there is the free kill on a primal beast. Definitely worth the Black Hole coming out.
They did just rotate a lot of heroes, though. It seems like T1 is going to show respect and back off super early on the bot lane. They possibly could have poked high ground, but this does come back to a big issue in T1's draft, is they do not have heroes that split push well in terms of hitting buildings. They can shove lanes, but nobody on this team wants to stand there and delete a Rax, right? It's not like you got a Beastmaster or a Visage in this game. You got a Primal Beast.
Yeah, the tower push is going to be a bit of an issue. You see Monkey, he's got a Desolator now. He's going to be working on a Nullifier, it actually looks like, as far as his next item to come. So good against the likes of perhaps that Sven specifically, but in general, nice item to have for him. It's still a long ways to go before it, though, but you see the posturing of Infamous currently. A minute remaining on the Aegis. They want that next fight to take place, but it's not going to be a free one. Michael's going hunting, though. He's in the front lines with that smoke. The opportunity is near. There's the jump. Not the greatest target in the world. It's Pudge. He's going to pop his BKB and return with a Dismember. Arcane's Curse. Tusk likely dead. Maybe not for the time being. Dobson, Wukong's off to the side. Leo Style did not realize he was nearby. Now he's going to pop his BKB and try to run. They lose a Tusk. Yeah, Leo Style survives some way somehow. The Yule's on up. There's another fight taking place in the south here. Defico Sunset and the blink away from Leo Style manages to get away. Pudge now in trouble. And Pudge likely to bolt through. Smackdown for Cuckoo. No, Pudge survives KP.
Yup, and now Sven's being stunned up. They have got enough to protect him right now. Thompson's trying to turn upon him, but needs to be careful. Can't get the dodge out. Too much damage out of Parker, and he might even find more out.
Gonna bolt through. Smackdown for Cuckoo. No, Pudge survives KP.
Yup, and now Sven's being stunned up. They have got enough to protect him right now. Thompson's trying to turn upon him, but needs to be careful. Can't get the dodge out. Too much damage out of Parker, and he might even find more out of this. Cuckoo trying to make his great escape, but it seems he's a little bit too slow. A fight that looked like in the second half it could go the way of T1, but they did not have enough lockdown, for this Sven.
No, they did not, and he eventually got to his port where he was able to start beating down. The Aegis has been reclaimed now, so there's that full mana pool, and he's going to beat down this tier 2 tower from it. So the 4,000 net worth lead looking pretty cozy all of a sudden for Infamous. And yeah, I mean, again, Pudge is not necessarily the prime target you're looking to jump off the bat. They didn't kill him, but of course the start of the eventual response. And how about Leo Style, though? I mean, the fact that he was able to somehow skirt away using that Yules defensively, running, and he is fast, of course. I mean, that's what this hero, he's got that move speed to work with to help him out, but the blink of the last second to just avoid death and then set up what we saw in the long run. So he's level 22 on, or 20, excuse me, on Shadowfeed, but 23 on Sven. That 25 is coming up quickly.
Yeah, I gotta give a lot of credit to Affliction, the way he kept that fight discombobulated. He split it into 2 separate affairs, which was advantageous considering they didn't have Black Hole. And that's actually the scary detail. Like, what have we been talking about for most of this game? Infamous do or don't have Black Hole, they can or cannot. They just done that fight without Black Hole at all. It just came off cooldown, so they can go back to back and extend this lead now with every ability being available. T1, yes, they've got that Sansa with the global, but as we're starting to notice that these blinks start to come out, Sansa does not have a free game anymore.
Oh, Swift Blink, by the way, just picked up by Sven. He is running like crazy. He's on turbo mode now. Especially once he activates that, I think it's up to like 455 plus. So smoke play though. Oh, they got scanned out. This is going to be interesting. The engagement. That they do. Monkey King looking for his chance.
Cuckoo not able to connect. He wants an easy opener. Maybe they can find it. The stun comes out. Leo style. Late to activate the BKB, but don't worry. Cuckoo's still got something for you now that is activated. Backside, however, they've lost the silencer. And this is where you don't want to fight. T1. Black Hole can come out against them, but no! Buyback instantly cancels out Frank's relevance here. Cuckoo and Thompson will chase him down, and all of a sudden, Infamous need to retreat.
Well, and Shadowfiend also gets picked off. Speaking of retreating, Tiny attempted to do so as well. He's just dead, though. You look at the south, though. You got Sven running back in. He's got God Strength still ready to go. He's looking to find Cuckoo. Not going to happen. Onslaught away with the TP, and that'll be the end of that. So, I mean, it started so well for Infamous because Sven, naturally, focusing the silencer. Jumped on top and bursted him down right away. But you mentioned we saw the buyback into pressing R immediately happening from Whitemon. Proved to be the difference maker, stopping that black hole and allowing for T1 to do what they did as far as specifically killing the Shadow Fiend. Of course, the biggest part of that.
What a complicated hero as Silencer is. I reckon I could play stand-in at TI and be somewhat useful on this. Nah, I'm not going to devalue what Whitemon's done. He's done a lot more than just press R in this game, but you can see how easy it is to count this out. By the way, here's a scary detail for you. That Southern fight, Pudge was 3 versus 1, if I'm not mistaken. And he still killed the SF on his own.
Oh, wow. That was him killing him alone. Yeah, I didn't notice that. All right, well.
What a hero. What a player.
Yeah. What a player, indeed. Is Parker? Oh, gosh. That's what is
happening? Oh, my God. That looks
it's
amazing. It's like an intro for some sort of like kiddie superhero show, right? Like you just play some theme tune to that. Oh, man.
Some anime going on right there. But eventually takes a stun, of course, too far away. But yeah, it's just every time the Sven pops his blink, that is how fast he's running. Like a freaking jet, just clearing out more of the jungle. You look at this net worth, he is starting to really accelerate if he wasn't already. I mean, he's level 25 too, so that 50% God Strength damage has now been activated. And he's going to look to use it soon, but Thompson immediately moves across, goes out with the Boundless Strike. The 800 crit off the bat. Parker, though, pops a BKB. The Nullifier is activated, though. Parker needs to get out of here. He's still very low. He's got support nearby. Thompson chasing, but the Yul's on up. Sven is getting low and finally dead. 100 seconds he's out for. No buyback KP. Infamous in trouble.
God, Cuckoo is just zoning the entire team away on his own. They get the big kill. Like I said, no buyback. He's gone for 90 seconds. And if they get a whiff of this, they can go. But instead, they have a more desirable objective to open up with. Roche just respawned.
Oh, yeah. I noticed that it was 30 seconds going into that fight, so yeah, it makes sense. Spawns right here, and talk about perfect timing for T1. They go right into the Roshan pit.
Okay.
And it's going to be free.
How do you actually address Cuckoo now? Because if you check, it's not just BKB, it's Lincoln's as well. Like, you saw what he done in that fight, right? He shifted north while his team chased south. Even the rest of the team and Infamous can't turn around on that. Like, this hero, I already mentioned him from his strength gains alone and his itemization that he's obnoxious. Now he just feels like you can't ignore him, but you also can't address him in these fights.
He is just one of those, exactly. You kind of just have to accept he will be doing his thing. I stand by, except from the very beginning of this game. Is this a kill? Shadow Fiend?
No. Oh. Okay, you're happy with that. You just forced global and lived.
I mean, that's pretty key. Yeah, Leo style, he'll be able to TP out here in a second. There you go. But you're right, yeah. Now Global Silence is going to be down for 75 more seconds, so a slight window for Infamous with 15 seconds resurrection on Sven. But what were we talking? Oh yeah, it comes down to initiation. That's just the simple way to put it. I still feel like Infamous has a really good shot of having a very good chance in this game, simply because of that. If Sven can get the target like that silencer right off the bat, then the fights can be completely different, right? Because that last fight, they were able to jump Sven, the trees, monkeying in the trees, happened to just clash on down, follow-up came, he died. So that is the key in this game right now.
This game does get very hard if you wait too long, though, because Whitemon is slowly making his way towards a refresher, and that's why you're seeing Infamous make this move. Global got used. They're free to go, but only for 30 seconds. They need to make it count. Jump in, BKB activated by Cuckoo. He turns around against him. Tiny chose the wrong target to open up with. and all of a sudden that window has closed.
Jumped in and became an immediate ragdoll. Meanwhile, Sven with the God Strength, he's hunting for somebody. He wants the silence. Look at, he's just going B-left for the sport. The black hole gonna be activated by Frank. Eventually gonna be stopped, but the damage is done by Infamous. Tops in. He's gonna melt down. The Aegis brings it back up. A Leo style. No Requiem was used earlier, but Sven is still here. He's got a Storm Hammer. Gonna be silenced for the time being, but it doesn't matter. Monkey King is out for 90. Has a buyback, but they chase on a Cuckoo. And Infamous gonna annihilate this fight. Silencer, believe it or not, will be the only one to live. That looks good for Infamous.
I'm gonna get some abusive DMs after that. I said the window had closed. It had not. They had 15 seconds left, and T1 acted as if they had global silence again already. No respect given to Infamous, and now none will be given in return. Parker is already in the base. God's Strength coming off cooldown in 20 seconds, and no core up for at least double that. This could be all 3 lanes.
It very likely might be. I mean, especially with the aura nearby of Shadow Fiend, although he doesn't actually have the talent there for that. But either way, they are still going to be pushing very aggressively. Another God Strength even going to be activated by Sven. That kind of just shows you how much of a priority they're making this. They want at least the second set of bracks. Buyback the Monkey King, though. And they are going to try to hold the best they can. Yule's on up, and Leo Style immediately starts running away with his own BKB. Tops in, unable to chase him down. So they got the bottom, they got the mid. Infamous now has a massive lead in this game.
Exactly, and Monkey King's the win condition now. You take him out, you win. Black Hole doesn't actually matter anymore. At this stage in the game, if Monkey King isn't there, I don't actually think T1 have the damage to take a fight. The Pudge and the Primal Beast, similarly to Game 1, are starting to fall off in terms of what their output will be. I mean, Cuckoo has done a great job of remaining a nuisance, but if we think about what his build is, we've already talked about it, it's more about his ability to intimidate, not to kill.
Yeah, and Ana, it's definitely a different game for sure, especially as far as the Ana Pudge goes. I mean, last game, again, the early farm just transitioned so nicely. They had the Leshrac, of course, farmed out of his mind, but he was able to have a massive presence in that last game. Not the same this time around. It's been a bit more of a struggle too, but not going to let that deter them from still trying to make some plays. Right here is T1 as they smoked up and run into the jungle of Infamous. I mean, Infamous literally is all in their base.
Yeah.
They pretty much expected. I don't know if they actually saw the smoke happening or what, but they're going to smoke themselves, it looks like, as all 5. So good time.
They were backing up because I think Sven was picking up his refresher, and they were waiting for God's Strength. So this is where T1, the only way they can take a fight is if they don't take a fight, if you catch my drift. They need to bait a commitment out of Infamous and then get out, because double God Strength BKB on Sven is no joke here.
Yeah. Tier 4 items, Penta Edge Sword on Monkey King. That's a big item pickup right there for sure. Noticing some others, Witchbane on Enigma on the other side. That could be clutch. Shadow Fiend with its own flicker now to work with. But here we go. There's a Lotus Orb. Excuse me, more so the Lincoln being applied to Parker as pushing in. You talk about the Refresher Orb, though. Double God Strength sounded pretty good. Hey, that's a Penta Edge Sword. He'll take that. And now he has one of his own. So he's level 27 as well. Shadow Fiend almost 25. A couple more creep kills. And he'll be getting to that point as well. Shadow Ray's cooldown likely to be the play, I'm sure. With
now,
this build,
I'm pretty sure Infamous know how to count, because they're lurking around the Roche Pit as if it's going to be up anytime soon. We're still 2.5 minutes away. The tough part for Parker there is he got very ambitious with the God Strength move. I think he was expecting to blink in and find a hero. And now, you don't want to like blow Refresher, right? Because then you only have 1 God Strength in these fights. But you're going to be forced to, because Infamous are going to come under assault here. T1 not able to connect with that kill in the end there. Let's dodge it.
Yeah, that was Affliction when it's at a very awkward spot right there, but he does blink out before the engagement actually happens. We've talked about the Swift Blink. The Arcane Blink, though, on Shadow Fiend. Don't know if we mentioned that yet, but worth reiterating. If so, another awesome tool that Infamous has in their arsenal to be able to close out this game. And we'll talk about another awesome tool. Enigma with his own Refresher Orb now. So now that makes it extra interesting, right? Where, okay, the first Black Hole got canceled. Yeah, let's pop Refresher, go for another one.
Exactly. Especially when you consider his Silencer still doesn't have his Refresher yet. In fact, do you want to play a little mini game? It's called Find the Silencer.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I think this is the furthest out of his game, of his base he's been in the last several minutes.
And that's been the game being played by Infamous pretty much all throughout, and not going to change now. But yeah, Whitemon, that refresher himself is not going to be happening anytime soon. This Black Hole is the first one canceled. There's a refresher though. It's like we saw this coming. The Requiem on top of Silencer kills him. He did his job though, but there's the second Black Hole. The BKB's not going to matter. And Infamous looking to close out here in game number 2.
That's it. There's no way to come back. Zephyr, he was waiting for an opportunity to turn around with the Black Hole, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. He's going to be dropped. Cuckoo left alone on his lonesome. Buyback from Silencer is completely irrelevant here. And Infamous just completely stomped T1's hopes of taking this game.
I mean, they're going to give it their valiant effort, knowing that the end is near, I'm sure, but I don't see T1 being able to stop this push, especially with your Monkey King and Pudge. Your position 1 and 2 still dead. As there's a Mega Creeps officially spawning, so how about it? This is going to end up being a split series, and you know, again, Infamous, all the credit to them. They played this one very well, and I don't know if this is necessarily a drafting issue, but it does seem like T1, they invested a lot into countering this Enigma, not only with the Silencer, but across the board. It seems like the Rubik pickup especially, but
there it is.
Clearly that didn't matter.
Nah, GG gets called. I mean, T1, I think you're right. They have this different style about them. They're committed to the idea of fast 5-man Dota, but Infamous proved there's a way to dip your toe in the greed still and come out golden.
Wow. I mean, this was, I'm as a, I guess as a commentator, spectator, whatever, this is a series, certainly is nice to see as far as being split, right? You know, both these teams came into this with that 0-2 record. Hey, they both get a win, but I guess